Hello, this is Kate from dailytarotgirl.com, and this is your weekly tarot card reading, and I'm using the Everyday Witch Tarot for this reading. Now, before I dive into the reading, I have a couple exciting announcements. So the first thing is that I've just opened registration on my 4-week tarot course. It's called The Daily Tarot Girl's Guide to Reading Tarot for Others. And I'll put the link to where you can learn more about that course and where you can sign up in the description box below this video. And I'm also doing a scholarship contest for that course. So I have 2 scholarships available, and the scholarships are for anyone who really wants to take my course, but maybe doesn't have the funds right now, or it's going to be a real financial burden. You can't really afford to sign up for the course, so I'm offering this scholarship. So in order to enter the scholarship, I'm going to put all the info and the link in the description box below this video. So basically, what I'm going to have you do if you want to enter the scholarship is you're going to interpret the 3 tarot cards that I'm going to interpret in a second here. So the 3 cards in front of us, and you're only going to interpret each card with 1 sentence. So 3 sentences in total. And you're going to interpret them like you're doing the reading for yourself. And you really want to read each card as if each card has a piece of advice to give you. I'll explain it better on my blog. So if you click on the link to the scholarship in the description box below the video, I'll explain it a little bit better there. The scholarship is only going to run for like 3 days. I'm going to announce the winner on Tuesday afternoon, evening. All right, so let's dive into the reading. So the first card is for Monday and Tuesday of the upcoming week. And here we have the Knight of Wands. Now, if you want to enter my scholarship contest, you may even want to go to the blog before you watch the video, because I'll have the photo of all 3 cards, and you can read with a fresh, unbiased mind. You might be kind of biased if you listen to my reading and then try to interpret them, but it's totally up to you. You can do either. So here we have the Knight of Wands for Monday and Tuesday. Now the Knights are so interesting because they are really action-oriented cards. The Knights are all about taking action, moving forward, and they have such a sense of adventure to them that I really appreciate. So the beginning of the week is definitely a time of moving forward, of really focusing your energy. This is kind of the time to take action on things that maybe you've been waiting to take action on, maybe you haven't. So maybe you've been doing a lot of thinking and pondering or planning leading up to this point, and the beginning of the week is really a good time to act on those things and to take some direct action. What I really get with the Knight of Wands is that setting a goal is going to help you move forward. So the Knight here in this card is looking up at this fire-breathing dragon on a cliff. And we can maybe assume that he wants to slay this dragon, or maybe he doesn't want to slay it. Maybe he just wants to meet this dragon. Who knows? But this dragon is his focal point. And when you have a specific goal, that really helps you kind of get your shit together and get organized and move forward. When there is no real goal, and maybe I'm just speaking about myself here, but if I don't have a plan for the day, I tend to just waste the day and not get a lot done. So I always like to have a to-do list and have, like, even if they're little goals, I like to have certain things that I'm, working towards. But with the Knight of Wands, what I'm getting is that this isn't just about little goals like for the day. This is about having kind of a big overarching plan, something that you're shooting for, something that you're aiming towards, something that is not just important to you, but is kind of fascinating to you. Because the achievement of a goal should be just as important as the goal itself. And what I mean is that you don't want to, so when you're setting goals for yourself and when you're choosing things to focus on, you want to make sure that all the actions that you're going to have to take to get there are also something that you want to do. So, for example, let's say you have one goal, but all the actions that you're going to have to take to get to that goal seem unpleasant and maybe counter to what your values and interests are, then maybe the goal isn't a good goal. Maybe you want to change it up a little bit. So that's what I'm getting with the Knight of Wands. Now let's have a look at the middle of the week. So Wednesday, Thursday-ish, midweek. Here we have the Ace of Cups. And I love this because it kind of supports all that stuff that I said just now about the Knight of Wands, about how it's important to, like, the process of getting to where you want to go is just as important as where you're going, as the destination. So Ace of Cups is about really centering yourself in your heart and connecting to your feelings, your emotions, and your empathetic, kind of nurturing side. So the woman in the Ace of Cups, she's standing there, her eyes are closed, she's holding a cup, and she just has this kind of like at peace sort of expression on her face. And Ace of Cups can sometimes symbolize love, partnership, and harmony, like relationship harmony. But more importantly, this is about being in tune, really allowing your emotions and your feelings to flow, as opposed to being cut off from your emotions and feelings. And particularly kind of the warm, fuzzy, like the more positive, like empathy, love, compassion, those kinds of feelings is what I'm thinking of when I look at this card. And I like how this card is right next to the Knight of Wands, because it's like the Knight of Wands is about, getting clear on a goal, taking action, working towards something. But then the Ace of Cups is saying, you also want to connect with your heart. Like what you're working towards has to have meaning for you. There has to be a connection between the actions you're taking and what is important to you, what is really your true heart's desire. So this is really a beautiful card. And I also feel another thing I'm getting from this is that you don't want to turn your back on relationships or empathy in the pursuit of a goal. It's not either or. You want to have both of those things. Let's have a look at the last card. So this is the card for the end of the week. So like Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And we have the Hanged Man. So the Hanged Man is different from the other two in that this is a major arcana card. So this actually has more of a spiritual kind of kick to it, spiritual oomph. It's a heavier or weightier card than the first two. And the Hanged Man, in many ways, is about surrendering to what is and focusing more on changing yourself and the way that you think about things, the way that you react to things, really kind of changing your inner reality, as opposed to focusing completely on the outer reality. So when you can't control or change the outer reality, that's always a sign that it's time to go inward and work on your inner reality. Hanged Man is also about seeing things from a different perspective and getting a different, seeing things from a different point of view. However, this particular Hanged Man has his eyes closed, which symbolizes kind of shutting out distraction from the outside world and really journeying inward. What I love about this card is that even though his wrists and ankles are bound and locked, he's holding the key. So it's this kind of idea that you're the only one who can set yourself free, no one else. And even when you feel limited and constricted and stuck, it's you who can, figure things out and find solutions, which I think is a really empowering kind of message. Okay, so let's look at these 3 cards together. This is an interesting trio of cards, and I'm genuinely excited to see what kinds of things people come up with. For those of you who are gonna give the scholarship contest a shot. Okay, so yeah, I'm curious to see what people come up with, because this is an interesting grouping of cards. So I'm just looking for repeating patterns and themes in my, I don't know if that ever happens to you when you read, but my mind just kind of like went empty for a second. Okay, so I think it's interesting that both the woman and the Ace of Cups and the guy and the Hanged Man have their eyes closed. So both of these characters are journeying inward, which I think is going to be an important theme for this week. Now, it's always a choice. You don't have to journey inward. You can be like the Knight of Wands and just focus on the outward adventure. Focus on the goals, focus on what needs to be done. Become completely enamored with the world of form. But if you do that, you're going to miss out on a lot. And so by choosing to also journey inward, as well as journey outward, you really bring a whole nother dimension to this week. This week will have more depth, more meaning, more satisfaction if you remember to go within and tap into your feelings, honor your feelings, and focus. What's interesting is the Knight of Wands is about focusing on what needs to be done in the world, what you need to be doing in your life, action, the outer landscape, navigating the outer landscape, whereas the Hanged Man is about navigating the inner landscape and paying attention to, how you react to things, how you respond to things, how you process your feelings, what you do with your heart's desires, what you do with your feelings, whether they're positive or negative feelings, and, what you do with your thoughts and your opinions about things, how that shapes your experience of the world. So it's interesting that we have kind of both of these. The card on the left is about focusing on the outside world and your place in it. Hanged Man card on the right is about focusing on your inner world and how your place in your inner world. And then right in the center, we have the Ace of Cups, which kind of ties the two together. And this is about really being heart-centered and remembering to tune into your heart. And when you're tuned into your heart, you are more empathetic, you're more relaxed, and you have kind of an expanded view of things. It's almost like you can see the big picture when you're tuned into the energy of your heart, as opposed to being tuned into the energy of your mind, in which you don't usually see the big picture. You tend to focus on smaller things and details, which is great, but you also want to connect with your heart because that's going to give you a sense of context. I hope that made sense. All right, so I want to say thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful week. And again, I'll put the links to both my upcoming tarot course and my scholarship contest in the description box below this video.